and welcome to this very special episode. I'm Parisa and today we're diving into a topic that makes people go, why is she always talking about sex? Well, wanna know why? Because no one else does. People get more sensitive about talking about sex than about sex itself. Here's the thing. Talking about sex is just as important as sex itself. Think of it like food. Yeah, food. Having sex is like having a meal. It's a normal human desire. And yes, even your teachers and parents do it. Shh. Now, imagine if the world kept telling you, don't talk about food. Don't talk about eating. Eat your meal in secret and never ever mention afterwards. Sounds ridiculous, right? But that's how we treat sex. Picture this. You crave some delicious pasta and announce, damn, I could destroy a giant bowl of creamy pasta right now. But instead of someone sharing a great recipe or recommending a good Italian restaurant, everyone gasps in horror and awkwardly pretends they didn't hear you. All because they're too embarrassed to talk about it and admit that they also enjoy creamy pasta. After experiencing this, you quickly learn to be ashamed of your appetite and end up nibbling on dry, flavorless bread. Not because that's what you want, but because now you're too scared to ask for what you really desire. The same thing happens with sex. Without open conversations, people make risky choices, and they miss out on understanding what's safe and healthy. You might stumble into the equivalent of a greasy fast food joint, cheap thrills but long-term damage, because no one ever taught you how to cook a proper meal. Or in this case, have safe, respectful, and satisfying sexual experience. Today we're serving up some real talk. We want to talk about the truth about dangerous sexual behaviors and how to make healthier and safer choices. If there is a kid around you, now is the time to grab your earbuds, because this conversation is adults only. Seriously, protect those little ears. Let's dig in. First, let's define some terms. Dangerous sexual behaviors include things like having unprotected sex or engaging with multiple partners without the regular testing of sexual transmitted infections or STIs, mixing sex with drugs or alcohol, and most critically, non-consensual encounters. On the flip side, healthy sexual choices promote safety, mutual respect, and open communication. This includes using protection, like condoms, getting regular sexual health checkups, understanding consent, and having honest conversations with your partner. According to the World Health Organization, over 1 million curable STIs are contracted every single day. Yep, you heard that right. So if you're sexually active, the chance of catching one are actually pretty high. Here's the wild part. Despite knowing this, many people still engage in risky sexual behaviors. However, most STIs are treatable. Some, like HIV and hepatitis, stick around for life and can seriously harm your health. And you can unknowingly pass them to someone else, putting them at risk too. But hey, let me be clear. I'm not saying you should stop having sex to protect yourself. Absolutely not. That's like saying you should never eat again just because some food can make you sick. Or worse, surviving on dry bread forever. And trust me, no one wants that. That's exactly why talking about this stuff matters. Aside from the fact that most of us never had proper or enough sex education or safe environment to talk about sex, knowing the right thing doesn't always mean we actually do it. And that's where psychology comes in. Alright, let's dive into the psychology behind why we make certain sexual choices. I want to explain this based on 3 theories: the health belief model, the theory of planned behavior, and the social cognitive theory. First up, the health belief model, HBM. This model focuses on how our beliefs about health risks shape our behavior. Imagine someone thinking, I don't look like someone who could get an STI, so I'm probably fine. Or, these things happen to others than me. Or, he or she seems like a nice person and I trust them. The HBM breaks it down into 4 factors: perceived susceptibility, perceived severity, perceived benefits, and perceived barriers. In a simpler word, if someone believes the risk is low or the consequences aren't serious, they will act like that's the reality. And then even something as minor as thinking, condoms are awkward can be enough for them to skip protection and put themselves and others at risk. Next, the theory of planned behavior, TPB. Based on this theory, it's not just about what you believe, but also what you think others expect from you. It includes your attitude towards the behavior, the social norms around you, and the control you feel you have over the situation. Picture this. You know using protection is smart, but all of your friends downplay it, saying no big deal, just go with the flow, bro. Suddenly, peer pressure kicks in. And even though you know better, social influence pulls you in another direction. Or, having multiple partners at the same time without their awareness and consent is not ethical, but you want to seem cool in front of your friends. A study in Brazil explored how social influence led women to drug use and dangerous sexual behavior. Where things get deeper. The social cognitive theory, SCT. This theory focuses on how we learn by observing others. But what happens when the topic is a taboo? If no one openly talks about sex, how do we actually learn safe practice? We don't. Yeah, we don't. Instead, we pick up bits and pieces from unreliable sources. Maybe friends who also don't know what they're doing, or pornography, or random media stories that focus more on drama than the truth. It's like trying to bake a cake without ever seeing the original recipe. Of course, you might miss some crucial steps, and worse, along the way, someone probably messed up the original recipe, and others threw in random ingredients before it finally gets to you. Society constantly teaches us what's okay to talk about and what should stay hidden. When sex is treated like a dirty secret, we lose the chance to normalize healthy conversations and promote informed choices. That's why people often end up repeating risky behaviors. They are copying what they think is normal because no one modeling healthy alternatives. So next time you wonder why people sometimes make bad choices even when they know better, remember, It's not always about information. It can be about social context, peer pressure, and sometimes just not having the right conversation early enough. By the way, before I finish the episode, I want to quickly tell you about another big myth. If I'm in a committed relationship, I'm totally safe from STIs. Nope, wrong. Let me explain why. Take HPV for example. It can live in a woman's body for years without showing any symptoms, and in some cases can lead to cervical cancer. The tricky part? Your male partner could carry HPV and pass it on to you, even if he tests negative and has zero symptoms. That's why whether you're in a long-term relationship or casually dating, regular checkups and open conversations about sexual health are essential. And here's some real talk. If having an honest adult conversation about your sexual health feels awkward or causes drama with your partner, it might be time to rethink that relationship. Because caring for your health and your partners should never be a taboo or a red flag. Last thing to remember, one day, if you're responsible for a child, the way you teach them about sex could shape their entire future. One wrong message or one avoided conversation could change their understanding of sexual health forever. So start the conversations early, break the taboos, and be the guide you wish you had. Stay safe, stay informed, and I might catch you in the next episode. Who knows? Bye!